Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. And today I have a wonderful guest, Philip Roth. I've known for almost a year now, right, Philip?
Yeah, it's been about that long. I've been studying with you for about that long now. Yeah.
How did
Yeah,
you
it's been
find my school and me?
um yeah, actually a colleague of mine who was another therapist brought up Neurographica to me. I started researching it a little bit and I stumbled upon the NeuroArts school. I saw some of your preview videos, I saw some of your own work, and I was very drawn to like your approach to it and how gentle you are with it. I love how you are able to combine that gentle improvement. Like you're not afraid to be like, hey, maybe you should look at this, but it's always for the best of that person. So I guess what drew me to you was like your work and what you're putting out there. It's stunning, it's gorgeous, it's an art style that I really am drawn to.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What so you kind of do therapy work. What are the modalities do you use? What are the tools do you use?
Mm.
Is it called
Um,
behavior therapy with a little bit of visual tools, or what do you use in your practice?
the one that I go to a lot is EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. It's great for dealing with trauma. But in my work, I use a lot of narrative therapy, like helping people reauthor their stories to create more powerful characters for themselves. I like to do dialectical behavior, which is like looking at your behaviors and the way you're thinking and determining how that is in alignment with your values. The biggest ones that I think I use most frequently are that somatic experiencing, like what is your body telling you? What is the body sensations communicating to you? And let's go outside. Let's go be in the trees. Let's go for a walk. Let's take in this nature. Let's take in this oxygen. Let's connect with the world around us. So a lot of it is that experiential component, and Neurographica and just neuro arts in general lies perfectly with that.
Fascinating. I absolutely love working in nature, and we have a university on our doorstep, and they have a whole kind of they have a psychology department, but part of the research that they're doing is about human beings and our connection to nature and how you use nature walks, with improving some conditions, mental health conditions. So it's so powerful. I love what you are doing. I'm a big fan.
Honestly, the Neuro Arts has been an incredible tool in my kit. It's allowed me to, it's giving me the tools that I need to like connect with clients who don't want to talk to me or who don't have the words for it. You know, it's amazing watching some clients light up when I bring out that big coffee tin of pens and markers and paper. They get so excited by it.
Wakes up the inner child, I guess.
hmm This skill, these Neuro Arts, is part of the reason I got the job I have right now. They saw it, they're like, we want this. What a unique thing to bring to the table. So not only is like helped me personally and help me grow and my clients grow, it's been a really nice like accolade on my resume.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's so wonderful to talk to somebody and to talk to people who really love what they do.
Thank you. It's been a long journey to get to where I am, and it has been a dream that has been so far in the distance for me for so much of my life. To like have it now right in front of me and to be living in it is such a blessing. Pat myself on the back for that one, and also just be grateful for everybody that helped me get to where I am. And yet at the end of the day, it's me who manifested it. It's me who created that. And perhaps that's what NeuroArts does, is it gives you an idea of what you are able to create.
Tell me more. So you work as a you work as a psychologist, and
Mhm.
have you always used kind of visual tools in your practice?
Oh yeah. My one of my favorite tools that I have is a clipboard that has a whiteboard, erasable whiteboard on the back of it. I am constantly drawing little diagrams. I am constantly using the visuals to help explain some of these really abstract concepts,
Mhm.
like how is a thought formed? it's kind of hard to talk about that. It's easier to like see it and visualize it. Um, and I think there is something to be said about using all of the different senses when you're doing therapy, sight, sound, vision, whatever.
Yes, indeed. Because we told you the story because my mom was psychiatrist, psychotherapist, and she was always using me as a guinea pig. If she learned something new, she'll be, okay, Anna, come on, right? Draw me a tree, draw me a house. Okay, Anna, if you add this window on the top, like, what do you feel now? And so I kind of grew up with it. So are you using it now with your current clients?
Oh yeah. Neurographica comes up more frequently than I thought it would and when I first started. I do a lot of guys with individuals, especially with individuals like in their like late to like late 30s, early 40s that are going through that midlife crisis. I love doing guys with 18-year-olds who are like, I don't know what I want to do in college.
Yes.
And it's so cool how that all comes out. Actually, one of my clients, 17, 18 years old, lot of challenges with her father. Rough relationship, almost very afraid of him. We did the algorithm for removing judgments.
Mm-hmm.
And through that process, they got done with it and they're like, I'm ready to go have lunch with my dad tomorrow to tell him some scary news. And she came back the next lunch and she's like, I did it. I didn't freak out. I didn't panic. I didn't let his anger bother me. I told him what was going on. I'm okay. I'm like, whoa. Because before
Fantastic.
she was physically shaking about the whole concept of the idea. Actually just did another one. 36-year-old male business owner was getting into a relationship but was feeling conflicted about it. Did a algorithm for removing limitations.
Mhm.
He came back the next session. He's like, yeah, so I broke up with her. I'm like, I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I just realized that I was like forcing myself into this because this is what I should want, not what I actually want. And honestly, it's just like letting them do the work, letting their own thoughts and processes come out. And even with some of like my straight-laced non-artistic people, if you will, non-creative people, the score model is great for approaching businesses
Yes.
or and consult and like consulting. Like, I have a problem. Here's where the symptom is, and how do we map this all out? So yeah, I use it all the freaking time.
And you mentioned three models that we learned. So Ikigai, algorithm for moving limitations, which is actually from the basics of NeuroGraphica course, and SCORE, which I love. It's from NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. I absolutely love it. So, what's your favorite, would you say?
That is a good question. The easiest one for me to like do and
Mhm.
not have like an issue with is neuro trees. I love trees. They're easy. How could you
Yes,
not?
very
But
understandable.
the one I get the biggest bang out of is the quality of life one, the stratifications of life. I
Interesting.
yes, I it's incredibly in depth. It is a lot of different pieces that all come together, but I think that's the beauty of it is that it's a lot of work. You have no idea what's coming on, and you have to get through so much of that unknown until like you finally see it all laid out. And it's like, aha,
Mhm.
this is where it's at. And looking back through some of my old drawings of when I was doing the quality of life drawings, a lot of them are pretty dang close into like the timeline that I'd established for myself at that point.
Yeah, I like the strata or quality of life model, and I didn't really appreciate it at the beginning when I was studying because it's just sometimes it's complicated and it is sometimes difficult to get your head around it. But once you start drawing it and you have totally unrelated concepts, you overlap those concepts. This is when the breakthroughs happen, I find. And a lot of the students, they go, how do I apply quality of life to my issue with a relationship? But actually, once you start looking at the relationship from the quality of life perspective, it makes perfect sense.
Even if I'm not quote unquote drawing with NeuroGraphica, I'm borrowing and using a lot of the concepts and even the ideas behind the models in my work, especially the being aware of your body sensations and that somatic
Yeah, the
experience.
somatic experience. Sorry.
How many times are people like, I've got this tightness in my neck, I've got this tightness in my chest. I'm like, okay, lean into that a little bit and bring that energy out onto the paper.
Mhm.
What happens? The amount of times that they start crying after that, and they're like, I've never felt this before. And then they start really working with it. And at first they feel so hesitant, but then they just emerge from the session a little tired, a little exhausted, but lighter.
Oh,
It's
thank you for sharing this. Yeah, because I found that when I was working with clients, it's much more easier for people to draw than to talk because it's almost like sometimes the talking process is so rehearsed. We are so conscious of how we appear, of of presenting ourselves to the world in a certain way. But then when people start drawing, I think they open up a little bit more.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Actually, personal experience. I was studying to get certified to do psychedelic assisted psychotherapy. Have you
Mhm.
heard of this movement?
Uh,
Um,
is it using like different psychedelic substances?
Indeed, for the use of psychotherapy. And as part of the training, I got to like participate in that session. Um, so of course I brought my sketchbook and my pens. Uh, and like for the first half hour of it, I was blathering. Like none of my words were making sense. They were all over the place. But then about like in a half an hour into it, I got real quiet.
Mhm.
I opened my sketchbook and then I drew for the next hour and a half. I didn't say another word. I was just drawing. By the time the last 10 minutes of the session were ending, I'm like, okay, yeah, I figured out what my issue was. I was putting this in this box, this in this box, and here's how I'm going to integrate it together. Thanks for your time, kind
What
of
were you
thing.
drawing? Tell me, what did you draw?
Okay, so this is what I drew during the session.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was quite thrilled with it. Pretty sure it's the score model. Um,
Interesting. Yeah, because I could assume it's algorithm for revealing intentions. It
uh,
looks like that, but
yeah, because like this was the symptom here, right? It was
okay.
that separation of two different elements of my relationship.
Hmm.
And part of it was that integration of, or this way, the integrating of it all together.
Yeah.
Um, and the one insight that I really got from it that really stuck with me is that I've been spending so much time trying to be perfect
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
trying to appear, like I'm this perfect circle, there's nothing wrong with me, blah, 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 blah. And just accepting that, like, that ain't me. I'm not a perfect circle. But there are people out there who do see me as that perfect circle, who can see all my jagged edges and all that and still see this like whole complete being. And I think that's really what it was about, was just like being seen as whole, even if flawed.
But what I like about visual tools and when you use art in coaching or in therapy, you become less of a perfectionist. When I started, I was using art, and I was a perfectionist. I would be sitting there and spending ages doing everything perfect, and if it's not, I would get quite upset. But at the same time, the same techniques this allowed me just to relax and kind of realize that art is about self-expression. It's about who you are, connecting with yourself, and just allowing yourself to make mistakes, to be messy, to become sometimes it's not pretty.
Yes, I think so too. Like, I think art just allows you to put this stuff out there, or even some of this stuff as well. And I think for me, art is that experience. It's not about the finished product. It's about all of the steps and all of the journeys and the frustrations, agonies, and successes that you had along the way.
And that's why I said this probably took me a while going from that perfectionist who wanted their drawings to be perfect or paintings to be perfect, God forbid, it's not hyper realistic, to like, you know what? I'm the freest when I just doodle.
I-
And I just
Yeah, I think there's something like there's such a layer of like seriousness, or like it has to be, as you said, perfect when it comes to art, right? But when did it stop being fun? Drawing, using art, and even exploring yourself can be fun if you let it.
indeed. And I always I was babysitting a few months ago, and the girl, how old was she? She was like 2.5. Beautiful art. There was a bit of paper on the board, and she grabbed some mark and she went, and then another marker. But it's beautiful, and this is what I always encourage my students: just approach like a child. Just have
Yeah.
fun, make a mark, and just have fun with it. And at the same time, you open up those layers that years of
Mhm.
your life and experience like put on top of you. It's like we don't see ourselves, right? I think art is good, it, it's great for healing and great for therapy, great for coaching.
And like as part of creating, there is that element of destroying. Like we have to destroy some of those barriers to get access to our own energy. We have to destroy our own expectations.
Yeah, indeed. Oh,
Eh,
I like how you said that.
Right. And I mean, like, I think with art and everything, like we have this element of creation and bright and happy and like growth, but let's accept that sometimes growth requires that removal, that we need to like either stop getting in our own way, or maybe we just need to figure out a way to put all these pieces together. And I think art can do that, how to take all of these random chaotic elements and integrate them and
Yeah,
to create a blueprint for our life.
I love that. Create a map. Blue.
Yes, there's the word. Yes, 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 yes.
If you work with a person, how many sessions do you normally have on average, and how many of those sessions involve drawing?
Mhm. Good question. A lot of my clients I see once a week, right? For an hour, and that's over a course of a long period of time. I just actually, interesting you bring that up. I just got like my first pure Neurographica case. Like they were coming to me specifically for this. So I do 2 hours every week.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives us time to like get in, get set that intention and get drawing so we can leave room to process and work through it. With this client, I have him down for about 6 drawings right now.
Yeah.
Um, I imagine that it might go a little further than that, but for right now, 6 is where I'm starting at. But I generally book 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
for my sessions. Can I cram a NeuroGraphica in an hour long session? Kind of. But even just like working with it in session, doesn't matter if it's finished or not, just
Mm-hmm.
working with it in that intention does seem to produce some results as well. So to answer your question, it depends on the client.
Thank you. That's very useful. Which areas do you take kind of clients with different requests or different problems, or do you specialize on relationships or something else?
My specialization is actually in ADHD, autism, and
Mhm.
trauma. So I work with a lot of PTSD as well as complex post-traumatic stress. The ADHD stuff and the autism stuff also comes up a lot as well. The drawing seems to help the trauma a lot because it helps like start piecing those together of where this was coming from and even expanding the horizons on it. With the ADHD and the autism, it also gives them a mechanism to communicate some of that stuff with, that they don't have to rely on words. They don't have to worry about how they're being perceived. It's already being shown, kind of thing. I will say my autistic clients do appreciate like having the control over the paper.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's really hard because they get stuck. Watching them work through it is the real joy. And sometimes I feel like in that one session, I'm like, what the heck did I just do? Did they get out of NeuroGraphica what I was hoping, or did I do it right? But then the next session, they'll come back in to be like, so remember what we were talking about? Da, 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 da. Yeah, I did X, Y, and Z to take care of that. I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. So trust the process is what I'm going to tell you. Let it happen. There are no supposed tos.
Indeed. And I had in my own practice cases when you would do one session using kind of visual tools, and then the people would go, no, that's not for me. That's not working for me. I go, and then I would get a message a week later going, Anna, I have no idea what you've done, but you've just unpacked something I've been working for years. And over the next few days, things started happening. Uh, like the whole situation started unpacking, and I can see the light. I want to do more, please.
The awe and wonder that my clients have, I'm like, we can draw?
Yeah.
You're an artist? I'm like, yes. We can totally do that. There are some sessions that I don't have to say a word.
Wow.
I just creating that space. Here's my big coffee table. Here's all of my markers and pens and paper. We can just sit here and doodle and
I
we can
love
talk
it.
about stuff. It's great. It's absolutely great. I think that just doing art and even the art of manifesting, whatever happens, the style you want to use, there's some great things that can happen. And I think the Neuro Art School has a great opportunity for you to not only learn a new art style
Mhm.
that can enhance your artwork, but also has the ability to make it more meaningful. To instead of creating something perfect and pretty, you're creating something powerful.
This is beautiful. It's almost like I don't want to ask you anything else because I quite like that about powerful. Thank you so much, Phil. I hope you'll come again. I
Of
hope.
course, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And seriously, guys, if you haven't checked out the Neuro Art School, do it. If you have a smallness inkling or even a curiosity of how this might help you, just do it. Anna's great. The community is amazing. You will not be alone.
Thank you. And if you want to talk to Phil in more details, maybe you want to engage, how should I say, in coaching or in therapy, or want to try it out with Phil, I will leave details below. So
Thank
thanks
you.
so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye now.